how were you raised? Were you raised by love, money, or survival? And how does that affect your relationships now? So that's ideology for this week. Were you raised by money, like your parents spoiled you, gave you some money, you didn't really spend time with you? Were you raised by survival? You got to get it how you live. Or were you raised by love, where your parents, hugged you every day and made sure you knew that you were loved? So, how were you raised, and how does that affect your relationships now? Who
Wow.
wants to go first? Who wants to go first?
We'll let the guests go first, Tara.
I was raised by love
Okay.
because my mom, like I said, my mom became a single mother. I was around maybe 16 when my mother and my stepfather divorced. So love was always there. Even through the BS that I put her through with this abuse relationship, my mom was there. Even though she threatened me with court papers, my mom was there.
So,
So
how does that affect your relationships now?
I love too much. To be quite honest, I love too much. I mean, I try to do my best to show my love, but at the same time, I might not communicate it as much. And I know I have to learn behind that. I have to get myself together to do that. Even at this age, you have to learn sometime. So I have to keep pushing and do what I have to do to keep the relationship tight.
All right, Katie, it's on you.
Well, I was raised with I would say love. It wasn't the kind of love where they come home and hug you and all that. It was like, you know, it was one of them kind of loves like, hell, I love you. You know what I'm saying? It was never verbally said, but you knew. But it was also off of survival because my mom and my dad both worked. And my oldest sister was raised by my grandmother. But my mom had me in the kitchen cooking at the age of 11, and I had to cook meals for the family. And she told my daddy, you can either eat it or you can cook for yourself because I'm not cooking. So I had to be a survivor. But I will say, I've always been a daddy's girl. I cannot even lie. So my daddy would give me allowances every week, $20 allowance. But
Hold on, Katie. Let me stop you right there. Hold on. I need to let people know that when I was growing up, there was no such thing as allowance. That was some shit that we saw on TV. you didn't get allowance. Like,
you didn't get allowance.
no, so when y'all start talking about allowance, I just gotta let y'all know that wasn't a real thing for us in the hood. Like that was something that we saw on TV. What was it, on Different Strokes or some shit?
Yeah, I used to get my grandfather used to give me allowance. My grandfather used to give me $50 every week.
Damn!
Yeah, I was a spoiled brat.
You was balling.
My daddy would give me $20 to $40 every week. My mom gave me 10 per week, but I made my own money because I knew how to braid hair. I would braid my own hair. I started braiding hair in the neighborhood, and I would sell ice cream cone stuff. I mean, every week I had $100 in my pocket easily because I always hustled and made mine, so I had to survive.
All right, Katie. So how does that affect your relationships now?
My relationships, probably. I mean, not that I've had that many relationships, but what would probably me being overly independent.
Okay.
Don't know how to ask for anything. Wasn't built like that.
All right, now it's on you now.
I was raised with both love, and I would say by default survival, and I'll explain. I lived in a home with my mother and my stepfather. My stepfather's been in my life since I was 1. So I knew him. He's kind of the only man that I knew as far as fatherly is concerned, up to a certain point. My mother loved me, showed me love, showed me what it was to love myself, to work hard for what you want, to be self-sufficient, but also be loving, and take that love that you have in your heart and distribute it amongst people that you care about and that's in your circle. On the flip side, survival, I had my father, who was my biological father, who I knew of. It's not like I didn't know him. It's not like he was a ghost, who I needed his love, and I didn't know that I needed his love, but I needed his guidance, because that's my father, and I didn't get that from him. All he was at that time was a child support payment, and a frequent driving past each other. Oh, that's my dad. We pull over. I have a few, a conversation with. So that's what taught me how to survive as a man and not be dependent upon somebody else to do something for me that I can do, that I have to go do for myself at some point. So yeah, the allowance thing didn't work in the hood. That's not what we did. You asked your parents for an allowance.
Right, I don't know what that is.
Your sneakers. That's your allowance on your feet.
Right.
You know what I mean? The bed you laying is your allowance and shit like that. But how has it affected me now? Both those situations were needed, because my mother's love, my stepfather's love, that camaraderie that they had as two, that built that foundation for me to realize what a man is, how a man takes care of his responsibilities, be it his or not. That gave me the strength to be who I am today. But then on the flip side, my father, who was supposed to be my responsibility, or I'm his responsibility, not being there the way that I needed him to be and he should have been, is the reason why I'm tough, that I'm strong, that I'm driven, that I am I gotta get it by any means.
Right.
And it's crazy because now I have a really, really great relationship with my father. I am actually helping to take care of him now. So it's like the role reversals. I'm in his life and I'm present in his life, and he's one of my responsibilities, even though he's still capable and able to do for himself. As his child, I still have to be there to make sure that he's good and that she's good, because that's how I was born. And that's how I was raised to be, just like that. So that's a great question, man. You're going to have me quite to get on the phone when I get off this thing. Call somebody and tell somebody I love them.
Ideology, good brother. This is ideology. This is what happens.
I'm about to make a phone call like, yo, mom.
Well, hey, Dad, I love you, man. Just want you to know.
Look, I'm going to say I was mainly strictly raised off survival. So it was like, I'm the youngest of 3 boys and a single mother. So all of those times when it's like dinner time, it's like, you better hurry up and eat before it ain't no more. And I had to share a room with my older brother. So I went through all that, and my dad died young. So it was just my mom taking care of us 3 boys. So she didn't have a lot of time to pamper us. Like, it was just, she had to make sure that the bills got paid and whatever else had to be done. She didn't have time to be pampering us and all that other emotional stuff. So now that affects me now in my relationships. It makes me, look for myself first. It makes me always, if somebody pushes me, then I'm going to push back like 10 times as hard. So it always makes me go for self first, because that's how I was raised.
So you selfish?
I'm not selfish. I'm a survivor.
You know what's funny about that, T? Because as we were growing up, right, we were always looked upon as always, me and you, right, out of our group, out of our boys, as always having everything, right? But when you tell your story, right, it's a whole different thing, because y'all masked it and made it look like that. But everybody always thought, oh, Nell and T got everything. They don't need for nothing. They got their parents, and their parents got good jobs, and they get whatever they want whenever they want. But not knowing what's under that, under that mattress is ain't always good.
Right. and it's like they say, you know, you don't know what's going on in somebody's household. And you know, as we grew up, you know, the littlest shit that we had, people thought we had everything. So if I just had like a couple more games than you, people thought I had everything. It's like, no, I just got a couple more games than you. I don't really got shit. I just got a little bit more than you. And that's just how it was.
Let's read some of the comments down here. We got Diana Humbert, who finally joined us after months and months.
What's up, Diana?
How are you coming back? When are you coming back?
I know she came back to the
And she was the latest person today.
Oh God!
So Diana said,
Diana
I was
Love.
raised by love and survival due to my mom being a single mother.
Okay.
Right?
Oh,
Gisette
okay.
also says, we got a lot of survivals in here. I was raised by survival. Love as my grandmom interpreted. I wasn't hugged or told I loved you. My mom went to my mom at age 13. She had no idea what love was, and I was concerned. I was a helper. I was the helper. Isn't that a common theme in our society?
I was about to say, I
Yes.
that,
You know,
with our culture,
a lot of us grew up as being the
Yeah.
provider
We're born
when we were
survivor.
children. Wow.
But that's because a lot of us come from single parent homes.
Mhm.
So, you know, while our parents was at work, everybody's taking care of their siblings. And,
Yeah.
and that's what made it that way. But, you know.
latch door, what they call them,
Latchkey
latchkey kids.
Latch-
Kids.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, I was one of those.
Yeah, me and my sister were that too also, but my sister was
Yeah.
hard-headed. She stayed in the street.
But I don't even want to talk to either one of y'all because y'all got allowance. So
Yeah, they privileged.
He gonna hate on us.
They privileged.
where we
I was
from,
daddy's
y'all
girl.
privileged and spoiled.
I
They
was
ate the
daddy's
classic
little
fork.
girl.
Y'all had them silver spoons.
Right.
Man, please,
lived
you had
in
to
a
work for that
freaking
silver spoon. What?
I lived in a freaking hut. I ain't have no silver spoon.
Yo, that was a great show this evening. I know, you know, we kind of keeping it to we're trying something new this season, trying to keep it
Yeah.
right at the cusp of football season. You know, you got some guys on here that love sports. I'm one of them. But thank you to our guest this evening, you know, Tara Pierce, for coming on and sharing her story. Also Karen for sharing her story, and all of you in our comment section that is sharing a story. The word that comes to mind when I think of you guys, I'm sorry, not you guys, you ladies, is strength. Right? Not even courage, but strength.
Right.
Because strength will have you getting up and doing things that you don't want to do in your worst pain, your worst moment, your worst hour, but still making it happen. And that's what strength is. It's not courage.
It
It's
shows.
absolute strength. And you ladies exude that. So thank you for expanding on that this evening. And we will bring it back for a part 2. And before we close out the month of October, it will be a finale. And we're waiting on that trilogy from Mr. Shitstarter as well.
Let me explain something to y'all. I could go and put out my second book right now